I can see faces. I know that there are people here, um, just all from across the beautiful continent of Africa. And it's such an honor to be here with you. I'm going to be spending the next 45 minutes to an hour, or just a little bit over an hour with you. And this is probably going to be hmm, a different kind of webinar. I don't know that you've had it like this before, but my prayer is that you would take something of what way today that would truly be a turning point in your life, in your health, in your well-being, in your balance, and feeling your calling. The reason for which God has created you. So let's just get right into this. I got the name right?
Weigh them, yes. Weigh them.
Has done an amazing introduction, so I wouldn't have to speak much about myself. We just go right into what we have today. Our title for the webinar is Thriving in the Hustle. And like she already said, there's a lot going on in our lives today, a lot we're trying to juggle with, and a lot we're trying to balance, a lot we're trying to do all at the same time. And let me be very honest with you. This generation is what we all kind of know and call as the hustle generation. I don't know how we got here, but we are here. So today, I pray that by the end of this webinar, you will be able to pick out one thing that you can run with from today to begin to change your life and find some level of rhythm. And that word balance, I will use it today, but very loosely, but I want you to focus on rhythm. And when I say balance, wouldn't be that you allocate equal time to everything, but by the end of this today, you realize how to truly make that one work for you. Okay, here we go. So here is what I've learned in my own journey. Through working with so many women, professional, career women, moms, just across the board, I've come to know that the God who created you and I never called us to burnout. Now, this is going to be a bit of a prophetic session, learning session, biblical session. Just open your heart and take what, is for you today. So, like I was saying, God never called us to burn out. It was never his plan for us to just keep working and, plunging away, trying to survive. He called us to breathe. And I really just want that statement to sink in for a moment. God never called us to burnout, but he called us to breathe through. God who created you and I, he knows the plans that he has for us. And my favorite, it says, his plans for us are plans to prosper, to give us a hope and a future. So God has not designed us to collapse, under the weight of ambition or chasing this and chasing that, just running from pillar to post. He's designed us to thrive. And in fulfillment of our purpose, of our calling here on earth, every single one of us we have an assignment to fulfill. And the Bible says, who God calls, he equips. So God created us and he's given us everything that we need to succeed in what we're doing. But the way life is going and the way life is requires that we keep pushing and hustling and trying to make things work on our own. So today, as we go through the slides that I have for you today, and as we go through what I've come to share with you, you will see what God's heart truly is for you and your health, and how he's already put things in place to help you find fulfillment, find a rhythm, and to stay in good health. So I'm going to show you some statistics today. And as alarming as these numbers might be, I need to look at it today and think, okay, I can see the need for me to make change. I don't have to be a part of the statistic. And even if you found yourself in it, there's always a way out. Okay. So here we have some numbers. And this numbers, it's more of a health crisis. This is the reality of our life today. What is happening now, especially amongst young professionals, both across Africa and globally, people within this age group, are definitely find themselves in a critical position, especially when it comes to health. Now, look at this: 75% of young professionals report chronic work-related stress. 3 out of 4 people in this place right now fall into this category, and this is according to World Health Organization's 2023 Workplace Stress Report. So this hasn't just been plucked out. This is the current reality. This is not occasional stress. This is chronic, unrelenting pressure. And we can see where this is coming from. If we claim that we live in a hustle culture, then the consequences of living in a hustle culture will be dire. 60% are sleeping less than 6 hours per night. If I had to do a poll right now and ask you how many hours you sleep per night, a lot of us here are probably not even getting up to 6 hours. Getting, just few hours, living on just few hours of sleep. And the Sleep Foundation in 2024 they did a survey, and they found that the sleep deprivation among young African professionals, is at crisis level. So biologically or scientifically, our bodies require 7 to 8 hours of sleep to process emotions, for there to be repair, for our body to kind of regenerate itself. And most of us are not getting that. 1 in 4 people, and 1 in 4 people probably on here, are battling anxiety, depression, mental health issue is at all-time high at the moment. And the WHO mental health reports from 2023, I think it was, showed that mental conditions are at epidemic levels. And you can see why. The hustle culture. And this is now trickling down, especially within the younger generation. Some of these things growing up, we saw it or we thought it was just for, older individuals, our parents and the older generation. But now, in our world today, younger people are battling this same issue that a few years ago seemed to be just for the older generation. And this means that about 60% of people on the school are suffering or struggling with one mental health issue or the other. But this is really a wake-up call. And I think it's more around even the fact that there's been a 200% increase in burnout since 2020. 2020 was when we had COVID. And I don't think the world has kind of recovered from what happened during COVID. Lancet UK, in 2023, they found that the conditions that used to affect people in their 50s and their 60s are now showing up in younger generation in 20s and 30s. And I want you to kind of pause and let that sink in a little bit. I'm number 2 of 6. In my parents' family, my aunties, my uncles, some of them, suffered some of these things. So growing up, it was more like, oh, okay, the sickness and diseases that aunties and uncles had to go through or suffered due to probably life choices, lifestyle choices, and other things. But today, you see it in young people as young as in the 20s, even teenagers, 30s, and 40s. And now, you might be thinking, oh, this is so depressing. Well, here is the point. The point of this is there's an adage that says knowledge is power. However, I truly believe that the application of knowledge is more powerful. You can't fix what you don't know. If you don't know, you're not going to know what to do. So knowing, creating an awareness and educating us on this is just for us to wake up and know that the choices that we make today will definitely impact both our current lifestyle and our future. So this is just to create a pathway for us to start to think about how to push forward and what we can do for ourselves to improve our well-being from where it is right now to the next level. Okay. So We move right on. The, this is the physical toll. Like I already touched on this. If just getting a bit more specific with this, these are sort of like the usual suspects that you find in 20s and 30s, young professionals at the moment. High blood pressure. High blood pressure is at the highest level that you can think of. The American Heart Foundation in 2024, the study found a dramatic rise, in young adults in high blood pressure. Type 2 diabetes, obviously high blood pressure, hypertension, and type 2 diabetes, they're like brother and sister. They quite go hand in hand. And then you have anxiety and depression, and this is all round across the board. Obesity is on the rise, chronic fatigue is on the rise, and then burnout. All of these diseases, or all of this the illnesses, as a result of the way that we actually live life. There's no way that, if you make the wrong choices, there are always consequences. I have 4 kids, and I always tell them, if you decide to go the wrong path, there's always consequences. Yes, there is mercy from God, but you still kind of bear some level of consequences because you knew in your right mind before you made those choices. But then that is not to say that we can't pull back and start to change the way that we live life, the way that we do things, and just become a bit more responsible, become a bit more aware that whatever action that we're taking currently will either improve our health. So these are the usual suspects currently. And, like I mentioned earlier, in my family, or rather in my parents' family, some of these issues have shown up. Now, we, the next generation, are now making changes so that we don't get caught up in this. And I'm sure if you had to look long and hard, maybe not even too far into your own family, you might also find some of this um, sickness and diseases showing up. But then it is onto you right now, after taking this knowledge, learning all of this and taking this information, to go back and start to make all these little changes that will start to make a dent in improving your health and well-being. Okay. So I want us to, get a bit more interactive with this. We're going to run a poll. This will be the first poll. We'll do a few more during the course of this webinar, but I want us to do a poll. I just want to have a sense of where you're at. What's your primary motivation for wanting to even improve your health or well-being? You are here for a reason. When you had, oh, this is going to be a webinar to, help us improve our health and well-being, even whilst we're hustling and juggling. Um, you're here because you want to know how you can help yourself, or probably even help your loved ones. So let's do a poll. And I want to see what the reoccurring responses might be. What is your primary motivation for wellness? Is it to look better physically, or you just want to have more energy for work so that you continue grinding, or you want to fulfill your God-given purpose? So there's a bit more of a why. There's a bit more of a purpose-driven reason why you want to improve your wellness, or you want to avoid getting sick. Yes, you don't want to get high blood pressure. You don't want to be obese. You don't want to burn out, or you just haven't even started. So let's do the poll, and let's see what the answers would be. Let's see what your responses would be to this question, and then we can go from there. We don't have a lot of time, so we just run through this one real quick. Okay. Probably do this for just about 1-2 minutes, and we can run the result and see what we can. So we're looking. If you can't do the poll, you can put it in the chat as well. Let's see. Okay. Right. So this is the results. Oh, wow. To look better physically, okay? That's the highest. And then we have to fulfill your God-given purpose. That's the second. And to avoid getting sick is the third. To have more energy for work is the fourth. And haven't started. So we have a few people who haven't started. So for those who answered wanting to look better physically, I get it. There's nothing wrong with wanting to look better physically. But here's the challenge. Appearance-based motivation is fragile, and that wouldn't necessarily sustain you when results are slow or when life gets hard. Okay, so when you hit a plateau, then that's going to be an issue. For those who answered B, energy for work, this is better. It's more functional, but be very careful that you're not just trying to squeeze more productivity out of an exhausted body. You're not a machine, so keep that in mind. And for those who are after fulfilling your God-given purpose, now this is where I sit. Okay, this is more of an anchor. It is sustainable because then your why is bigger than you. It's not just that I want to look good or I want to be able to do work, but this is purpose driven. So something or anything connected to eternal purpose, it will push you. It will push you. You're able to push yourself even through when the going gets tough. Okay. Psalm 23 says, though I walk through the valley, I fear no evil. Then you have the rod and the staff of the Lord that is guiding you. So that's keeping purpose in mind. That's keeping assignment in mind. And those who are doing it just to avoid sickness or haven't started, I'm glad you're here. So today is going to be your turning point. And one thing I want you to understand is your motive determines how much momentum you drive. If you can put that down, write it somewhere. Your motive determines your momentum. And I'm going to go deep right into this in the next slide. I just want to bring, something most wellness programs completely miss. And it's the reason most people sometimes fail within 3 weeks of starting a wellness program. And, this bit that I want to talk about is called pace and perspective. These are the two drivers that would truly help you push yourself forward. Remember, we're talking about thriving in the hustle, improving your wellness, your well-being, finding balance, being able to do the things that you want to do, but not exhausting yourself or driving yourself to the ground. So we're going to look at pace and perspective. If you've never heard about health or wellness, as I'm telling you today, I want you to open up your mind and receive this, because this is truly what would help you make a firm decision today to help yourself. Now, here's what most fitness professionals or fitness programs don't tell you. Your mindset matters. I mean, mindset, of course, comes into play when we're talking about purpose, strategy, fulfilling whatever calling, assignments and stuff like that. But most times we tend to separate our health from every other thing going on in our lives. And sometimes also we tend to focus on God in certain areas of our lives and not necessarily when it comes to health. And that's a huge mistake. Okay, so mindset plays a big role when it comes to improving your health and actually driving through on a daily basis, waking up and knowing that there is a deeper why, the purpose for you wanting to actually be in sound health. It is a biblical promise. It's our inheritance. The Bible says God wishes above all things that we be in sound health. So he wants you to be in sound health. For you to hustle, you need help. Your perspective determines the progress that you make. This becomes more than just showing up to fulfill all righteousness. Okay. Your perspective is the why behind what you're doing. Your pace can make or break everything. Pace at which you're going, it can make or break everything. Now, break this down into four foundations so that you can actually have something to hold on to. The first one is your why. This is your motive. Why are you doing this? Why do I want to do this? Why am I here? This is not just a case of I want to be healthy. That's too vague. I want to be healthy is too vague. Your why has to be deep enough to pull you out of bed every morning, even when you don't feel like it. People always ask me, oh, okay, what keeps you going every day? I do workouts every day. Doesn't matter how small, I can do an hour and a half, I can do 10 minutes, but I always show up. And I tell you, some days are difficult. I don't jump out of bed pretty cool. Yeah, today I have all the muscle and energy. I'm going to go for it. No, I literally have to pray myself. It's almost like, Father, this is willing. My flesh is telling a different story, but I need help. I need you to help me. I need strength. I there and then, as I'm finishing and jumping up. Sometimes I don't jump up, but I get up and I do something. God truly works. And that's the connection that I'm here to make for you today. This journey requires external strength, force. And I say external because I'm talking about God. But remember, the Holy Spirit lives inside of you, so He truly helps you. That's the bigger, it's almost like your motive. It's a bigger feeling. You just know it. It's something there that drives you. The second is your perspective, and that's your how. This is the lens through which you see your health journey. Are you seeing it as punishment, or are you seeing it as privilege? Are you seeing it as a restriction, or are you seeing it as freedom, like freeing yourself from sickness and diseases? Are you seeing it from perfection, or are you seeing it as progress? Your perspective determines whether you actually enjoy or whether you will enjoy the journey or you're going to dread it. Okay. The third one is your pace. And the pace, like I said, it's pretty much just tells you, okay, whether you're going to crash or burn, whether you're going to go from 0 to 100 overnight. That's the pace. Okay. When people are trying to do too much, they want to change everything in one go. That's just you failing even before you start. They want to sprint through everything, instead of probably taking those baby steps, starting very gradually and building momentum. They want everything done right now. But before I take a client, I would say to them, I don't do quick fixes. If you're trying to like lose 10 kg in 1 month, in 1 week, in 2 weeks, then I'm not for you. It's a very gradual process. The point of it is you want it to be sustainable. You want to be able to get up every day and show up for yourself. You don't want to crash and burn and then you give up on it. The last one, which is the fourth one, is your intention. What is the heart behind your action? What is the heart? What do you have in mind? What is propelling you to want to do it? Are you doing this to end God's love? Are you doing it to fulfill our righteousness? Are you doing it to prove something to other people? Are you doing it to fix yourself because maybe you're thinking, oh, I'm broken? You're doing it as an act of stewardship. What's the intention? Is this an act of worship to you? What is the intention behind you? One thing is health. What is the intention? That last bit is the most important, but it's so important because it's in that last bit that we begin to think about stewardship. You're stewarding your body. Even the hustle, you're thinking, oh, how can I make this good? This is the container that we have to be here. Like without this body, we won't be here, no matter how much you hustle, no matter how long or ambitious your plans are. If this body isn't giving, you're not achieving, nothing is going to work. So keep that at the back of your mind, your intention. Why are you here? What is driving you? Why do you want to do this? And keep the word stewardship in mind as well, because that's what would help you. We always know how to steward our money. If there was a financial webinar right now, I'm telling you, we're all going because we need to make money. I will show up, we'll be there. My husband and I have been doing this for the longest time. We've been in the health and wellness space for a very long time. We run a different fitness outfit together, and then I do, the work that I do in Mother's Hub. And the one thing that we found over the years is whenever we put up a health event, hardly we see people turn up. But when it's a financial event, people come. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but it's almost like working back. You're walking back, forgetting that you actually do need help to enjoy the friends and people that make. You need help to enjoy your wealth. You know what I mean? It's always said health is wealth. If you're healthy, you're wealthy. See, you see some wealthy people who don't have health to enjoy the wealth that they have. We don't want to get there. So this is a good time to start to build those foundational blocks that we need both to sustain ourselves now and for the future. So my next slide is, I'm going to talk about some principles. And I chose to call this the Isaiah principle. It's one of my, favorite scripture in the Bible, Isaiah 40. Like I said, this is a bit of a Bible study session too. And I want to, there's a principle in here that I just want to share with you. Isaiah 40:31 is a very popular scripture in the Bible. Those who hope or wait upon the Lord shall renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not faint. Now, most people will read this and think, oh, great, I want to soar. I just want to soar as an eagle. But look what it actually says. There are three types of movements here. You're soaring, you're running, you're moving, okay? You're walking. So you've got to know where you're falling at every point in time. God is so intentional about everything he does. Your seasons of soaring, like your season of intensity. Your season of soaring is your season of intensity. And these seasons don't last for too long. A season of soaring. The eagle is not forever soaring. It doesn't soar 24/7. It can't do that because it's not sustainable. The eagle has a moment of rest. It's not a continuous thing where it's just going and going and going. No. So your season of soaring is your intensity season. And you have to know when your intensity season is. It's those seasons of mountaintop moments. When you go, when God calls you to do something big and you're launching that big project or you're launching your business. It's always for a short period of time. Remember, when you're launching, it's for a particular season. You don't launch every day in your business. You launch and then you have moments where you then start to do some operational work. You start to delegate things. So knowing when your season of soaring is so important. And then there's a season when you run. This is the season of steady progress. You're not sprinting, you're not soaring, it's running at a steady pace. If you watch all this competitive, tracks, you see them run, it's for a period. They run, they get to the end, and that's it. The result is cold. So you're making steady progress. You're covering ground. Your season of running. Or you're not exhausted. You can keep this up for a while. And this is where probably most of us are. Remember, I'm talking about you thriving in the hustle. The last movement mentioned in that verse is walking. And sometimes we don't like the season of walking, but it's a very important season. It's a season of simple consistency. You're just going with a particular pace, putting one foot in front of the other. Sometimes it's not an impressive season. It's not flashy, but it's a very faithful season. You're staying on track. You're walking, might not feel exciting, but walking gets you to the destination. You're going to get there eventually. That's the point. So here is the revelation from this verse. These are all God ordained seasons. All three of them are necessary. Okay. All three of them are necessary. All three don't happen at any one time. They all happen at different times. Whether you're walking, whether you're soaring, whether you're running, it is wisdom to know which season that you're in at any given time. And that's how you thrive in the hustle. If it is that you're constantly, constantly grinding, constantly, what happens is there will be a breakdown that happens at some point. Definitely. It's guaranteed because this body is meant to do things in certain pace in different phases of life, different stages. So maybe right now you're in a season where you need to walk and you're soaring. You're gonna feel frustrated. You will feel exhausted. You will feel tired. Maybe you're even a young mom or newly married. Know the season that you're in. There was a time in my life I had 4 children, and there was a particular time I had 4 kids under 5. That wasn't the time for me to start looking for clients to help. No, I needed help myself. And I tell you a personal story. There were times where, I just really wanted to do things. I felt like, no, I shouldn't be sitting here. I shouldn't, I should be doing something. And I really got so frustrated. My husband would be like, don't worry, this is a time to just settle. And I thought, no, I have to. One pulled me here, one, I have twin ones. These babies, they were demanding. And then I had to live them. Everybody was pulling me, pulling me. There's some pictures I see right now of me back then. I look at myself like, what was I thinking? Who tells you, oh, you are Superman? It's not a compliment. Don't kill yourself. Know the season that you're supposed to be in. If you're in school, a young professional, you just got a new job, go at a pace. Father, what season is this? You're working, of course, starting in a new company, a new organization, that's your season of working. Because now that's your time to learn how the organization operates. That's your time to learn what your role in that organization is. That's your time to give yourself an opportunity to embrace the people that you're going to be working with for as long as you're meant to be there. You're a business owner. Yes. Once you have done the work behind the scenes that people are in season, then you know your season of soaring. That's a season to launch, to go big. You know what the market is saying and you jump in, but also know when that season ends. Okay, so keeping this in mind helps us thrive much effectively in the hustle, rightly and in the right state of health, in the right state of mindset. Okay. So I have kind of been talking for a little bit. So now I want us to do another poll, and I kind of want to know where you are at the moment. And keeping in mind what I just explained to you, know where you currently are. Whether you're sprinting, whether you're running, whether you're flying, whether you're walking. I want to know where you are. This wouldn't take time. It's about 30 seconds, and we can move on right quickly. What's your current pace? Are you sprinting? Are you at maximum speed? Are you exhausted right now? Maybe because of work commitments, because of school, because you're probably trying to figure out what you're meant to be doing in life at this stage. Or are you running? Are you fast, sustainable, walking, steady, consistent? You crawling, barely moving, or have you completely stopped? You're burnt out and you can take it anymore. Let's have this. Okay. If we have enough, we can call the results and see. Right. Oh, wow. This is pretty impressive. So a lot of people are walking steady, consistent. That's great. 7% are crawling, or some are running. Oh, sorry, 33% crawling, 7% sprinting. And we have those who are burnt out as well. Oh, that's great. Okay, so if I'm just going to talk, just very briefly through this. So if you're sprinting at the moment, just know that depending on the speed that you're going at, I mean, sprint is sprint. It's not an if, it's almost like a when your body would just say, I've had enough. And I'm not being dramatic. I'm telling you honestly, as humans, we cannot sustain maximum intensity constantly. Like you're going consistently, your body will break down, your mind will snap, you will get so frustrated, and it starts to impact even in your relationships. So I know you're probably thinking, but I have deadlines, I have responsibilities. I get it. We've all kind of been there. But remember, this story about Elijah in the Bible, when he had his encounter with the prophets of Baal, do you know that after Elijah even won that exercise, Elijah was so exhausted. Elijah went, he got so depressed. If you go back and read that, he crashed so hard that he wanted to die. Oh, Lord. He was just giving up. Spring seasons are meant to be short, snappy, followed by intentional rest. When Elijah complained to the Lord, you know what God did with him? The Lord told him to rest. God put him to rest. He had to rest because Elijah couldn't function anymore. And that's exactly what happens with us. When we're going, there's going to be a crash season. And when you crash, then you can't do anything anymore. So it's important to keep an eye on that. Your spring season is meant to be a really short season. Get it done and rest. If you're running, then this is a big if. It's good, but running, I mean, it's a bit more sustainable than sprint, but you have to build in rest. Okay, there has to be rest. You need that rest. Don't don't lie to yourself thinking that, oh, I can do this forever. No, it doesn't work. If you go back to creation, God rested on the seventh day. And I'm going to talk about that later on in this webinar. Rest is so important. Letting your body cool down before you launch out again is so important. Now, if you're walking is wisdom. Don't despise this pace level. It is so important. Talk about even just walking as exercise. Walking does so much. It's such a low impact exercise when it comes to the physical side of things. Walking is a lot more consistent. Okay. When you're walking, you're not destroying yourself. When you're walking, you are taking, breaks to kind of check in with yourself, see how things are going. You have time to celebrate your wins. You have time to see areas of improvement. Walking gives you that room to go at a very comfortable pace, things that need to be done for your health and your well-being. If you're crawling, well, I'm proud that you haven't given up because it's so important to know and not live in denial. Yes, this is where I'm at. I'm crawling, and that's a good thing. Well, at least now you know that there are options. You're still moving, but it feels like painfully slow. Now, here is what I want you to know. Crawling is still progress because you haven't stopped, so there's movement happening. So don't despise the fact that you're showing up and there's a movement happening with you, even in your hustle season. Go at a pace in time, the momentum will pick up. As long as you are consistent and obedient in doing that, in time there will be change. Don't compare your calling season to someone else's spring. Just keep moving. If you have stopped, then this is for you. It is not over. There is still time to start again. And you can start by just putting one foot in front of the other. That's your crawling season. Get yourself into that crawling season. You start to see change. Then you start walking. You start to walk. You see, oh, things are improving. You kind of stay there. When you need to move over to running, you do it. But identify when that is and make sure that you're doing it within the phase and the season that you're meant to be running and nothing more. in all of this, make sure that you're giving yourself grace. Be patient with your phase and your season of life. Do not compare where you are with somebody else's, because that's when we start to crash. So the next one that I want to talk about, this is another biblical, principle that is so important and it's lacking in our world today. It is the word rest. Some people look at rest, think of rest, and think it's weakness. It is not. The stage of life that I'm in now, I'm learning every day that rest is so important. Because sometimes you want to even do things and your body is not giving. Your body is not letting you do it. That's almost a signal for you to take a step back. Give yourself some respite. Sabbath is good. Rest is good. It is sacred. So start to pay attention. I already referenced in Genesis, God rested. Creating all of the things they did. He rested. It's not because he was tired. Psalm 121 tells us he does not sleep nor slumber. That's the principle. And for the fact that he did it means that we also have the right to do it. God established the principle right from the beginning. So why ignore it? Resting gives you time to recalibrate. Resting gives your body time to just calm yourself down. In your rest moments, you think better. New ideas form. You get more creative because you're allowing, new inflow. Some call it energy, some call it wisdom. You hear God better. That still small voice gets louder. Resting is so important. In your hustle season, no matter what it is you're going after, establishing this principle for yourself will help you go far. And this is a good time to start to build on this foundation. If God thought that rest was important enough to model it and make it holy, then it is our responsibility to also find time, set apart some time for yourself. Do not skip it. It's a necessary exercise to apply to yourself, to your well-being, so that you can move forward. Now, you can look at the Martha syndrome. I also call it the Martha syndrome. Remember, when Jesus came, Martha was all over the place, cooking, hustling, grinding, doing it to score the points. And Mary sat at the feet of Jesus. Even when Martha complained to Jesus, Jesus said, Mary made the best decision. Sit. Here, it's okay to sit. You heal. You sit when you rest. So if you're not already doing that, apply that to your life. Perhaps you're frustrated that things are not moving for you. I need to take a step back and just rest. It's not working right now. Okay, let me rest. In your resting, the idea or the solution that you're seeking might just pop up. Then you can launch out again. So this is more presence over performance. When you're resting, you're present. It's something different. Rest over performance. Be present over performance. Let's stop overdoing things. That's what the world wants us to do. Just be busy, busy, busy. Busy doesn't equal productivity. Now we kind of come into this. These are the 3 pillars, and I'm going to run through them quickly. The 3 pillars for our webinar today, I just needed to lay some kind of foundation. This is fitness, wellness, and balance. When it comes to fitness, I talked about stewardship earlier. This is stewarding your body. You're responsible. A steward is a person who has been putting care of something. We have been putting care of this body. You've been putting care of your body. So this is about honoring God. And I keep stressing this God factor because we wouldn't be here, sitting alone. We've all been given an assignment to do. So when we steward this properly, then we will be fit for purpose, fit to complete the assignment, fit to show up for our calling. And stewarding your body means your movement, how you eat, how you rest, how you sleep. All of those things means that we have been given a responsibility to look after ourselves. Now, wellness is guarding both your mental and your emotional well-being. Mental health is a big deal at the moment because the way the world is going, so many people. You see so many people not necessarily sick in their body, but they're sick in the mind. And people are sick in the mind because we're not taking our time to even take care of our mind. Romans 12, I think it says, we must renew our mind. Renew your mind on a daily basis. What are you saying to yourself? What are you letting into your mind? Sound mind. Everything that we do, our emotional health, our heart, out of this heart flows the issues of life. What is in your heart is what you say. The power of life and death is in the heart. If the heart is not saying the right thing, you're not emotionally intelligent, emotionally balanced, then what's coming out of you is going to be negative things that will impact you in a very wrong way. So it's not just the physical, but it's also your mind, it's also your emotions. And then balance, like I said, balance is not equates an equal time or giving equal time to everything. It's more about putting things in the right place. Okay, giving things the right time that they deserve. I like to use the word rhythm better because rhythm is you're kind of dancing to your own tone. You're going at your own pace. Nobody is telling you it's this way, it's that way. You're doing your own thing and enjoying it. That's what that is. So each pillar has obviously biblical examples to them. They're practical strategies. There are things that you can start to do today to help you start to improve your life. So even whilst you're doing your work or doing the things that you're doing, you're aware of the fact that, okay, I know when to stop. I know the boundaries I need to put in place to help me. I know how to push forward. Just be still. Okay. So I'm going to run through very quickly. The first pillar I mentioned is fitness. We talked the Daniel principle, Daniel and the Hebrew boys, when they had the encounter with Nebuchadnezzar in terms of the food, not eating the king's meat, but choosing to eat a particular way. Now, the point of what I'm trying to get out of that story was Daniel was very intentional about what they ate because he was so aware of the assignment that he had been called to do. I'm not saying don't eat meat. I eat meat. I eat other things, but it's just being very intentional, that what you put in your body determines how you show up. Whether you're going to be strong enough to do what you need to do, whether you're going to be fit enough to do what you need to do, whether you're going to be getting tired, you're showing up, you're tired, your mind, you're there, but your mind is somewhere else. Fitness, what you eat, there's a whole lot of things that would help you show up in the right way or not show up at all. So paying attention and being very intentional about the fact that you want to move your body, that the Bible says we've been bought with a price. What we eat and drink must glorify God. So we just don't eat recklessly or drink carelessly. We're paying attention. Is this good for my body? Shall I be putting this in? Shall I not? That is what this is. The next principle is the next one is your wellness. In the fitness, I want you to keep in mind your movement, your food, and your sleep. Now, we talk about wellness. Wellness is your mental and emotional health. Okay. We talked about Elijah burning out earlier on. So I know it's hard to talk about, especially mental health, sometimes in the African context, where mental health is stigmatized. It's often stigmatized. Let me not generalize. It's often stigmatized. But, and some people call depression so many different things. But I truly believe that when we become aware, then we know what to do. Because this generation is drowning in anxiety and depression and burnout, the science on it is killing a lot of people. So we need to talk about these things. And the one way, like I said earlier on, when Elijah was burnt out, God made him rest. Gave him food, he made him rest because he was really burnt out. There's nothing that we are experiencing right now that hasn't happened before. But I think one thing happening right now is we see these things happening, but we're not pulling out, the solutions that they also apply to help them. So we have to pay attention to our mental well-being. It's okay not to be okay. Acknowledge when you're not okay. Because when you acknowledge it, then it's easier to apply some level of solution, find solution, to what is going on. Self-care, say self-care, that's the word today. It's not selfish. And I use self-care. What I'm trying to say is taking care of yourself, paying attention to yourself. It's not selfish because you do need to pay attention to yourself. And then have community, have people around you. Don't isolate yourself. Have people that you interact with. Have relationships that mean much to you. That would help you push forward in life. The last one is find a rhythm. We talked about peace. Okay. You have to find a rhythm that works for you. Give the right time for the right things. Now, in this, for you to succeed, you need rocks that would help you. And I've labeled them as 4 rocks: spiritual life, your physical health, your key relationships, and your purpose. So that's the work that you do. Your time with God is non negotiable. So find the rhythm that works for you. You've got to sit with Him, just find out what's going on, where we're going from here. Your physical health is another pillar. Your body, your rest, your nutrition, your mind. You can't pour from an empty cup. So you've got to fill your cup for you to be able to pour it. Relationship. Not every relationship is key. So identify your key relationships that feed your life. It could be your spouse, your children, your closest friends, close family. Success truly means nothing if you're alone. So find key relationships that mean things to you. I pray about key relationships. I pray about my relationships. And then also your work. Notice I didn't just say work. I said purpose driven. It's purpose driven work. So what is that work that gives you joy? What is that thing you're doing that you find fulfillment in? Let those be the things that help you find the right pace and rhythm in your life. Now, we're going real quick. I'm going to really get through with this one. I know that I'm 15 minutes in. Don't worry, I'm almost done. But I truly want us to be able to do, I wanted us to do this breakout session. And the point of it was just to get you interacting with each other. But if that's going to take time, then we wouldn't do it. I'll probably just have you put it in the chat. William, do we have time to do this? Or can I just not do it?
Time. We can do it.
We can do it. Okay.
Yes.
Thank you. So we can keep it 7-10 minutes. It wouldn't be too long. So I want us to do this break. Just, probably have, how many people do we have here? We have 47. So we could have maybe 5 people in the room. 7.
Have 8 groups of 5 people in each group. With 5 people in each group, yes. And
Okay. Okay. So we can do that. So we can do 7 minutes and then
7 minutes, yes. And so we are going to be putting you in the breakout groups shortly. I think we started already. And in the group, you assign a timekeeper, a note taker, and then a reporter. So when we come back to the general, then we do the interactive session, and then you share with the entire group what was discussed in your group. So be sharing the questions when everyone is in their groups. Hello, did anyone ask for help? They can hear me, right? Everyone has been assigned to groups now. We have 3 minutes, 50 seconds left, and then at the 30-second mark, we'll come in to remind you so you can just round up everything.
I said, who can present for us, like the duties that you said we share? Perhaps we can start discussing that while we wait for the questions. So once we have them, then we can just get to working.
Okay, and I think maybe one of us should volunteer to say he or she would present. The other one should. I mean, the one who be presenting. I suppose he or she should be writing, right?
Yeah,
Hello. Please, what exactly are we supposed to do? We don't have the instructions on the chat box or anything. Hello.
the instructions are in the chat box for those who did not get it. We are going to be extending the time because most of the time has been spent anyway, and we just realized that some people did not get the questions. So we have 5 minutes.
I'm not sharing. Some of us didn't start to, so some of the questions will be your.
Dear host, I think we have a minute, but we don't know our question. Thank you.
Okay, our questions have been received.
Hello, can everyone confirm if they have their questions in their groups now? We noticed that some people do not have their questions. Some groups do not have their questions or their instructions. It's open, the time has been extended. You can check the chat box, but I'm also going to just read the instructions out so you have them. Round 1, introductions for a minute, name, country, and 1 health goal. You go around the group. Round 2, honor sharing, 3 minutes. You share, each person shares something, 45 seconds each. Which statistic hits you the hardest? Which pillar is your biggest struggle? And what's your number 1 mental barrier? And then round 3 is action planning. You help each other identify 1 fitness goal for the week, 1 boundary to set, and then your true why, which is your motive. So remember, you have to assign a timekeeper, a note taker, and a reporter. It's 12 minutes past 7 now, so we'll be back at 7:20.
Please, I was in room 1. I don't know how I fell out. Please, can the admin take me back to room 1?
Yes, admin will take you back to room 1. So still on the questions, round 2, honest sharing. Which statistic hits you hardest? Which pillar is your biggest struggle? What's your number 1 mental barrier? 45 seconds each. This is 3 minutes. Then after that, you do the action planning, where you help each other identify one fitness goal this week, one boundary to set, and then your true why. We have 5 minutes more. Honest.
Repeat it from the group.
3.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, it's here in the chat. She did share. So I think we should get on with it. The first round, whereby we get to name
Okay, welcome back, everyone. I was in River 5, so I kind of heard everything. It's good to have you back. So we're gonna run real quick. But before we do, I would like maybe 1 or 2 persons to unmute and share what was said in their group. So 1 or 2 persons, just unmute and let us know what was said in the group. Who is willing to share with us a takeaway from your group?
So I'll go for
Okay.
group 5. The key takeaway for us was being able to work on a serving purpose, doing life assignment, and pretty much while we are trying to be fit, work on our fitness and wellness goals, also achieving our life assignment here on it.
Oh, we'll take one more. We'll take one more. If there's a challenge, maybe a challenge that came up in your group that you want to share, it'll be great to hear. If not, anybody willing to share anything else? Okay.
Can I come in, please?
Someone, do you want to share something?
You spoke about a challenge, and I think for my group, I think my group was group 7. It was myself, Dr. Precious and Doreen. I think the challenge we had was we had our question late, so we couldn't have a very deep dive in our question to our question, but at least we're able to do something. Maybe when the group starts sharing, maybe Dr. Precious can discuss what we came out with. But the only challenge was we had our question late, so I think we didn't.
You didn't have enough time?
Really or critically have was the only challenge that we had. Thank you.
Dr. Love,
Okay.
we apologize for that. We also, what were you able to do? I mean, the challenges as in the instructions, what you discussed in the group. We apologize for the challenge of, receiving the questions early. But if you were able to discuss, then please share with us.
Oh, for that we have a reporter, okay, and our reporter is Dr. Precious. So when it comes, I thought OJ was wanted to know the challenges we had in the group. So I was trying to share that challenge. But when it comes to maybe our discussion, yeah, Dr. Precious will do us the honors, please.
Is Dr. Precious here? Doctor, do you want to say something real quick before we move forward?
Okay. Good evening, everyone. So there was one question that talked about the challenges with, is it mental health challenges? I feel most of the challenges that we have with mixing our well-being, which is health-wise, with what we do is being tired. Being tired, and then in our group we also discussed about stress. So for being tired, I feel when we go on our day-to-day work, by the time we get back home, we are usually tired, both mentally, emotionally, physically, and all that we just want to do is maybe eat something, take a bath, and then sleep. And then sometimes also for the stress, our various work, we might come back with a lot of stress. So when you have a lot of stress, usually when you come back home, you feel drained. So you won't really have enough time, or the first thing that will come in your mind won't be look after yourself, look after your well-being, maybe exercise, eat healthy. You just think of doing the fastest thing, which is maybe eating, taking a shower, and sleeping to prepare for the next day, or trying to solve whatsoever stress that you have, maybe by watching a movie or something like that. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing those. Okay. I heard what you said. And I'm just going to share, just 7 mini strategies to kind of help. I understand, when tiredness comes into the mix, it's obviously difficult. And I get it in terms of getting from point A to B, where work is, where home is, trying to navigate all of that. One of the ladies in the group highlighted also, she just had a baby, trying to do everything all at the same time. And then stress is obviously a very big one. But the one thing I want to remind us is there are certain things that we have control over, and there are things you don't have control over. So those things that you don't have control over, there's nothing that you can do about it. It's almost a case of, okay, I'm just going to release this and focus my strength on the things that I have control over. And I will keep with the 7, mini strategies. And as I talk about it, I'm sure that, some of them will start to answer some of the proper solution to some of the challenges that you're having. One of the other challenges that came up in one of the groups was the area of balance. We try to do so many different things, but then we can't. And it's not possible because we're human. There's only as much that we can do. So it's almost getting so intentional and breaking things down to the core, knowing and acknowledging the fact that, okay, there are just things that I can't do right now in this season. There are things that would have to be moved to the next season. And it's okay to allow yourself not to do everything all at the same time. So welcome back. As I just run through this 7 strategies for thriving. And the one most important one is just having your anchor, that morning anchor. You know, having some few minutes to really center yourself, okay? And I guess for believers, it's almost like getting in the word, taking a word and just meditating or just taking in that word for yourself. It's like the word that you're going to run with on that day. You've got to have that time in the morning, whether it be it journaling, okay, these are the things that I want to achieve today. But it's also important that you kind of submit. And I'm always about biblical principles. It's like handing over. You know, Jesus said, come unto me. Like we have all these frustrations, we have all these burdens that we have to hold, that we choose to hold on to. But he says, release it. You know, my yoke is easy, my burden is light. When you're carrying something and you can't, you get to a point where it is obviously time to just let it go because you can't move any further. So start your day with the word, Start your day, anchor yourself, whatever it is that you find strength in or from, anchor yourself in those things. In our word today, the first thing almost is we pick up our phone. Phone actually triggers stress because with that phone, you start to hear whatever news that is out there. It could be negative, it could be positive. For women, it triggers cortisol. Cortisol hormone is your stress hormone. The light from that phone actually triggers cortisol. So how you start your day also determines how the day is going to go. Okay, so anchor your morning. Take a hold of your morning. The second one is the power of no, which a lot of us find difficult to do. Everything is not a yes. Okay, saying no is without guilt. Like to say no without guilt. Like you say no and you actually like, I'm sorry, I'm unable to do this. No hard feelings. Every time you say yes to something that doesn't align with your purpose or what you're trying to do, you're saying no to something that aligns with your purpose. That's building boundaries. When you say no, you start to build boundaries. So the issue of wanting to do so many things at the same time, I used to be a people-pleasing person. That's the word for it. However, behind that was me always trying to care for people at the expense of my own joy or peace of mind. As long as people are okay, that's fine. But then you come back, you're exhausted because people have pulled from you. It's okay to have boundaries. It's okay to say no. Do things one at a time. It actually works. The moment you get intentional about that, you will see that it is actually going to work for you. So for the mom who has a young kid and has so many plans to do, you've got to take it one at a time. Listen, let me tell you, the moment that you're not here, as honest and as raw as this might sound, if you die right now in that job, they're gonna replace you real quick with somebody else. So it's not about not doing what you're meant to do, but it's about knowing the right ways to do those things, but also preserve yourself, your mental well-being, your health, your space, your emotional health, everything. So the power of no. The third one is the 20-minute rule. You don't have time to exercise. You don't have time to do so many things. Just have a 20-minute chunk, like do things in 20-minute time slot. You don't have to do everything all at once. Start slow, and then you can start to increase those minutes when you have to. You have to look after your baby or feed your baby, and you have to wash. Well, take care of the baby. They will come round another 20 minutes, but then you focus on washing. But you've got to learn to time block. That's the word I was looking for. You have to learn to time block things so that it can help you to push forward. The way that you've constantly done things is not serving you. So this is a good time to learn or do something new. And then have weekly review. At the end of the week, look at how you've gone through the week. See the things that work, see where areas that need improvement. And then the next week, you can change up things around. And it's okay if you didn't achieve everything. Okay. Go at your pace. At every time in life, you must know what phase, what pace that you're in. Give yourself rest. I call it digital Sabbath on the weekend, or have one day where you just pull yourself away. Social media is stressful. It is stressful. There's so many things going on. Oh, this person is doing this. Why am I not doing it? Oh, this person is doing it. I need to catch on it. Social media puts pressure. So create those kind of boundaries for yourself where you step away sometimes and give yourself some mental break. It sounds impossible, but it is doable. The brain needs to reset. Your soul needs to breathe. But those things are not going to happen unless you actually apply yourself to it. The world will survive without your online presence for 24 hours. I promise you. They don't see you, they're going to survive. They will keep going. Think about your health and your well-being. And the last one is have an accountability partner. It really helps to have a buddy, somebody that can hold your hand, somebody that can say, oh, come on, then we can do this. Just like you've done in the group. If you have a friend there, you guys can buddy up together and hold each other accountable. Two people are better than one. That's what Ecclesiastes says. So if one falls, the other one will pick them up. Okay. So these are some strategies like you can start today to help you in the area of going to work and coming back tired, where work is so intense. When you come back, even the food that you're feeding your body in that moment truly, truly matters. If you load yourself with foods that are just going to take more energy out of you, then that's not good. Okay. So, I'm going to do this other poll, but I probably leave it. Even though it's more like you taking action, just applying yourself and committing to doing something. So you look at it. I mean, you can put your answers in the chat. This is the final poll. And it's just asking you, what are you committing to doing for yourself this week? It doesn't have to be anything big. It can be, okay, I'm going to learn to wake up in the morning and just spend some time in quietness. And it's not jumping out of bed and starting my day, because that actually will ruffle you up as you go through the day. That's the hustle culture and mentality that we're trying to walk away with. It's okay to ease in very quietly, ease in, gradually into your day. That helps you be more present and more intentional about the things you do through the day. It could be, okay, this week or next week, I'm going to do 20 minutes walk 3 times in the week. I'm going to do something for myself, or 20 minutes. I'm going to spend 20 minutes in quietness or read a book. I'm going to move my body. I'm going to find an accountability partner, something that you can commit to that you have not done for yourself before. Something that shows, okay, I've listened to this webinar today and I want to really start to make changes. You have got to be intentional about wanting to improve your health and your well-being. Nobody would make that decision for you but you. So I want you to, even if we're not doing the poll, I mean, if we do it and the results come up, great. But if not, I want you to look at this, promise yourself something today. Have a day where you offload, just separate yourself from things and find something within yourself. That's it. Your assignment requires you to be well. Your calling requires that you're here. We have a result. Money anchor. That's great. That's a really good one. All of the above is 29%. That's amazing. Take it slow and steady. Then that way it becomes sustainable. Money anchor is a really good one. If you're someone who likes to journal, that's a good time to do it. Digital Sabbath, unplug one day. That is so important. If you're finding out that you're getting too tired and too fatigued, then that one is for you. Pay attention to that one. But this is great. I'm glad to see this. So just, coming off of that, I want you to keep in mind that your assignment requires that you are well. You've got to be fit for purpose. That's the only way that you're able to run this race and run it well. And at the end, you will stand. This is about what God wants to do through you. Okay? He needs you to be here. He needs you to be available. He needs you to be present. Don't just go, doing things because, oh, everybody is doing it, then I do it. No. Your journey, your story is peculiar to you. Your health, your wellness is peculiar to you. Don't be a part of the statistics. Let's start to rewrite the story. Africa has a lot to offer, but Africa can't offer what it has to offer if you're not there. You are part of the host of amazing, phenomenal humans who God has put on the continent to make that continent, grow. So this is our time to do things right. It is not a time to hustle harder. This is a time to rest deeper. So whatever choices that you make sure that you're paying attention to what you're doing, how you're doing it, and when you're doing it. My prayer today is that you have taken something out of this time. I'm sorry it's gone a little bit longer than expected, but commit to doing something for yourself in your fitness, in your wellness, and finding a rhythm that works for you. Thank you so much for having me today. I hope that this has been of great benefit and great work for you. It's been a blessing. I've enjoyed sharing this time with you all, and I pray that the Lord will continue to help us to make the right choices and live life that will give Him glory. Thank you, Drive to Inspire Africa, for having me, and thank you to my friend.
Thank you so much, Miss Akinola. This was a very, I don't know, I'm not sure how the words to describe this session, but I personally have learned a lot, and but now we'll have just 5 minutes for questions because we've been here for quite a bit. We have 5 minutes for questions, so you can unmute, raise your hand to ask a question. If you don't want to speak, you can put it in the chat box and then we'll read it out. Or if you have any comments, maybe you don't have a question and you just have something to say, you can say that or put it in the chat box. Deepo says, thank you, Ma'am Oge. I enjoyed this session from start to finish. Fire emoji. Okay. No questions then. Before we head off, yes, the recording will be shared, Precious. It will be shared on our social media pages, Drive to Inspire Africa, Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. It will be everywhere. Precious says, with this, I think you can do life without God. Can we have a PDF? Yes, so Precious says, with this, you can't do life without God. Yes, that's right.
Okay.
Miss Oge, they're asking for another session. So Miss Oge will let us know if that's going to be possible. Fingers crossed it will be possible. 1 minute more for questions. Julian is asking if we can have a PDF. We'll ask Miss Akinola and then we'll get back to you. Precious says this session was powerful. Any books by Miss Oge? She's an author, so there are publications. We will share the links with you. So be on our social media pages. Stay glued to the social media pages. Clinton says, this was a very insightful session. Thank you, Clinton. And that's our question time. Our question time is up. Now, I'd like to call our Executive Director, Ms. Nanaja Hackman, who has a few words to share before we head off. Ms. Hackman.
Hi, everybody. And I'm sure a few people are surprised because I joined the group and didn't say that I was the founder of Try to Inspire Africa. But I just wanted to say a few words about two things before we all go away. And the first one is about Oge before she runs away. Oge is a personal friend. I met her at a time when we were both studying at Imperial College Business School on the MBA, and it was a pretty crazy time during COVID and lockdown and everything. And I met this lady who was homeschooling her 4 children because that was what COVID had done to us. School was online. She had a husband. She was running a business in the health and wellness industry. We were being stressed on the course, but every day she would work out and she would encourage others to also work out. And I was thinking, how is she doing that? How is she managing to do all that workout and then also encourage others when we're going through all this? So I'm so happy that she shared with us her tips, principles for being able to do this. I know that we've all taken something away from it. After all that craziness, when we had a bit of quiet time, Oge said something about rest and what happens during that time. And I'm so glad to see that after all our coaching sessions and things like that, during the downtime, Oge came out with the preconception readiness score, the PRS index, and that is her own thing, which is now recognized worldwide in the health industry. And I'm so proud of this, and it's such an honor to have you speak to us and share with us this evening. I know people are asking for you to come back. We will definitely bring you back to talk about the preconception readiness score, because in our community, we have people who are at that stage. Either they are looking forward to having children one day, or they have a child going to have some more children, or they are married or getting married. Their partners could need that information. They need that information. Their sisters may need that information. And it's so groundbreaking, and would love to have you again to talk about that. So thank you very much, Oge. The second thing I want to talk about is to thank you all for sticking with us on our monthly personal development webinars. I know for some of you, you've started looking forward to these things, and I've seen some of you actually share and share the flyers when they come out, and say that you're looking forward to it. We really, really appreciate you, and we would also love to hear your feedback on these webinars. If there's any topic at all that you think you want to hear about, that you want us to address, please feel free to reach out to us, let us know, and we will definitely work on it. So thank you all. It's been really, really great having you. I'll give this back to Wedem. She may have a few closing words for us before we go.
Thank you, Ms. Hackman, and thank you, everybody. It's been an hour and 40 minutes of just like it's like a group therapy session or a soul session. And Miss Akinola, we are so grateful. Just before we log off, if you joined late, you dropped off, you came back, you missed something, or you forgot to take notes, just have a few things to share. The thing that stood out to me most was Ms. Oge said that God didn't call us to burn out. He called us to break through, because we are in a hustle era, a hustle economy. It's very easy for us to think that we should always be on the move non-stop, keep doing something, don't be idle, don't be lazy. But then we are always tired, we are always burnt out. But Ms. Oge is reminding us that God did not call us to burn out. He called us to break through. And also, I'm in love with the Isaiah pace principles. Isaiah 40 verse 31. Read that and be reminded that every pace matters. All that's important is that you know the season you are in. And wisdom is recognizing and embracing that season, no matter how it presents. And also, do not compare where you are with anyone else's. And finally, here are the things you can do to build a resilient life and a life of purpose. First of all, it rests on 3 pillars: fitness, wellness, balance. move, put some movement, rest. Rest is important. Sleep 7 to 8 hours each night. Prioritize movement. Establish healthy boundaries. Practice daily gratitude. Community is crucial. Build community. Say hi to your colleagues. Call your family. Show up for people. That's how you build community. Remember that self-care is sacred, is not selfish. God has called us to a life of rest. Self-care is important. You are not being selfish by resting or caring for yourself, your wellness, your mental health. And finally, always remember that it's not the time to hustle harder. It's the time to be intentional about building a well-balanced life. Thank you all so much. Take what you need, pass the rest along. Thank you. We'll share the notes on our social media pages. Drive to Inspire Africa on all pages: YouTube, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram. Stay glued to our channels for content, and then hopefully we can convince Miss Oge to come back for another session. Have a great evening. Bye.
Bye. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.